So we just listened to Dick highlighting the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, honoring her Platinum Jubilee this upcoming weekend. And I'll continue with our British theme, taking a bit of liberty on the ideology of an art talk and featuring the RHS Chelsea Flower Show 2022. Let me just share my screen with you. Okay. So the RHS Chelsea Flower Show, formerly known as the Great Spring Show, is a garden show held for 5 days in May by the Royal Horticultural Society, or RHS, in the grounds of the Royal Hospital Chelsea in London. The first Royal Horticultural, it's quite a mouthful, Royal Horticultural Society Great Spring Show was held in 1862 at the RHS Garden in Kensington. Before this date, the RHS had held flower shows from 1833 in their garden in Chiswick, just outside of town. The Kensington Garden was chosen as the site to bring in more visitors who couldn't travel outside of the city. The Great Spring Show was held at Kensington for 26 years, but in 1888, the RHS decided to move the show to the heart of London in Chelsea. So here's an overhead picture of the Royal Hospital Chelsea. It's actually a retirement and nursing home for veterans of the British Army, and they're known as the Chelsea Pensioners. King Charles II built this compound in 1682 as a retreat for veterans. The pensioners, they can come and go as they please. They can wear civilian clothing, but if they travel far outside the compound or during special events such as seen it here, they're encouraged to wear their scarlet coats and tricorn hats. So now we'll look at some of the winners of the different categories of the flower show. Here's the Chelsea Plant or Flower of the Year. Bred by Daniel Michael and exhibited by Surreal Succulents, Symponium, this one's known as Destiny, is a cross between an Aeonium and a Sempervivum, hence the name Symponium. This selection has been bred to be hardy to just below freezing temperatures. It has a rich and deep purple color, intense in tone in the summer, and also good in the winter. It's unique in being drought tolerant, and the plant exhibits vigorous growth, growing all year round, reaching maturity at 40 by 40 centimeters in 3 years, which is quite fast for a succulent because they grow really slowly. And the leaves have a veiny texture, as you can see on this zoomed in picture. This was the People's Choice for Best Show Garden. I love this one. The classical contemporary design elegantly combines hornbeam hedging, which kind of provides the feeling of shelter and security. There's also 8 flat-topped hawthorn trees, which are these ones here. The tops are cut off in this photo. That kind of provide structure, symmetry, and repetition, and they flank that central stream, as you can see. And the predominantly green palette is softened with gentle tones of white and plum at ground level with lupines, foxgloves, roses, and irises. This was the selection of the best show garden by the judges. The garden shows a rewilding landscape in southwest England after the reintroduction of a native keystone species, the beaver. A brook flows beneath a glade of hawthorn, hazel, and field maple, and through a winding Old West country stone wall. Below is a pool dammed by beavers and the Beaver's Lodge built around a large crack willow. Now, some of these are going to be a little bit hard to see in this particular photo, but the dam is right over here. And evidence of their food and dam supplies, such as wood sticks, wood chips, and tree debris, are scattered around. So this garden really reflects the amazingly rich landscape that evolves when nature's eco-engineers, such as beavers, are really able to flourish. So this construction garden has a building, as you can see at the heart, constructed using Midite Smart Ply, a sustainable and innovative wood-based panel product to illustrate the future of sustainable landscapes and buildings. So it's inspired by natural vertical rock strata and is topped with a green sloping roof that we cannot see in this photo. As you can see, a waterfall cascades over the building to a pool below. And surrounding the timber feature and pool are a selection of damp-loving, rare, and wild species of flora. Many of the tree specimens are native to the forests of Ireland, where the Midite Smart Ply sources the timber for their products. And as a responsible manufacturer of wood construction panels, the company is really committed to manufacturing products that contribute to a healthier building that are carbon negative. So here's the winner for Best Sanctuary Garden. The Sanctuary Garden celebrates a haven for humans and for animals as well. Out of the Shadows, as this one is called, has been designed to feel like a contemporary spa garden, utilizing hardy tropical plants to create this private, calm, and relaxing space. It's actually inspired by the pandemic. The garden became a safe haven for people to exercise and socialize in small groups outdoors. And the space is designed to revitalize both the body and mind. You can see here there's a swim up jacuzzi spa. There's climbing bars, a yoga and meditation space, along with this seating and relaxation areas. And as well, there's these swaths of tropical planting throughout. The Still Garden is actually inspired by Scotland and the plants that thrive across the highlands and the islands. The plants reference native species and the climate to evoke an atmosphere that's immersive, secluded, and still. Reclaimed Scottish whiskey casks are reconstructed to make new sculptural planters, and they're packed with bold foliage and different textured plants. And actually this copper pot in the center is a tiny pond made from a copper gin distilling pot, and in it are a few different water-loving plants. So here's a picture of the Queen visiting the Chelsea Flower Show this year. It's her Platinum Jubilee year, marking her 70th anniversary, as Dick mentioned. And she's attended 50 of the last 70 flower shows. That's quite a good track record. So now to kind of tie it back with more classical art, this is a selection of some of the most famous flower paintings. It's actually from an article on Time Out titled "The Best Flower Paintings of All Time." And actually most of these artists we've covered in past art talks. There's Gustav Klimt, Henri Matisse, Georgia O'Keeffe, Van Gogh, Yayoi Kusama, Manet, Monet, Lichtenstein, and Margareta Haberman. And it's a combination of styles and mediums, and it really just shows, especially looking at them side by side, it just shows the versatility of how flowers can be represented and just how much of an inspiration they are to artists throughout history. And so for anyone who missed it last week, here again is the timeline of all of the art talks from the past couple of years, starting with Rothko in 2020 and ending with our celebration art for our 100th town hall from last week. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Sarah. As always, and let's see, Jacques, is there a chance you can highlight me? Great. All right. Thank you, Sarah. As always, a fantastic art talk. I did want to see if I can get this right here. So here's an example of that symposium. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, we actually happen to have one. All right, then. So, and I've actually had a chance to walk the grounds of the Royal Hospital Chelsea. It really is a truly beautiful place right by the Thames, but I never had the chance to attend the flower show. Perhaps on my next trip to London and try to schedule it around the same time next year.